tune into the other side of sports. Post laws in the building. It's me. It's Aaron. We rocking out. We only here for one topic today. Technically two, but we got to talk about this little report that Mike Florio. Though Mike Florio got a report talking about he's hearing that the Commanders owner Josh Harris will inquire about trading for Bill Belichick in the offseason. If this is true, I'm done with it's nothing they could do to bring me back, though. Ticket sales are going to plummet. Aaron, what do you think about this?
I think it's probably some of the dumbest shit I ever read in my life. Like I thought it was a joke when I first saw it until I saw where it was coming from, and the Bama's like a legit dude. And it also kind of coincides with you remember initially they were he was trying to get Sean Payton before he even ended up buying the team. Like it
Mm.
just the NFC East kind of pisses me off. Um, they just refuse to hire black coaches, and you already got two white guys in mind before you even fire the guy you got in there now. You ain't done interviews or nothing, and you already got the next white guy up, and it's ridiculous. The
Well,
Giants, the Cowboys, and the Redskins slash Commanders have never hired a black coach in the history of their existence. This is the Northeast we talking about. Supposed to be the most progressive, supposed to be the most ahead in the times, and they just refuse. They just refuse, and
so,
that's just that part. Bill Belichick is 70 something years old, dog. He can't coach the
no,
Patriots, where he got the Patriot way installed for 20 something years.
and this is the thing. You're gonna bring on a guy who's like the writing is on the wall for Bill Belichick, dog. One, the Bama's a cold cheater. We're just gonna keep it 100, right? So it ain't like you exiting one bad apple and then you just grabbing another bad apple with it just look different, dog. It just you can't see it on the front, it's on the back of the apple. You're gonna just grab another bad apple. That's one situation. Two, it's clear that Bill Belichick is not the same coach without Tom Brady. I used to be in a middle ground where I used to be like, I think, Bill Belichick, he's still the goal and this. No, I'm off that train now, though. It's clearly deficiencies in his ability to coach a football team post Tom Brady, though.
So I'm gonna disagree with that. He's a horrible GM, and he was a horrible GM when Brady was there. And when I
Okay,
used to say it, people used to say I was a hater. The Bama swing and miss. Nobody stockpiled more draft picks than them, and he would draft Bama's to swing and miss, swing and miss, swing and miss. Tom
hmm,
Brady wasn't even a great draft pick because if he would have thought he was going to be that, he would have took him in the first instead of the sixth. So
correct.
clearly, the Bama cannot draft, and I think coach. I don't think you lose the ability to coach.
Hmm.
I don't think you lose. Like, is his X's and O's behind the time defensively? No, he can't find a quarterback. He can't pick receivers. The offense, I think, is somewhat behind the times, but he's not the offensive coordinator. He's the defensive guy.
Hmm.
Without Brady, he hasn't had success because the guys he keeps pulling over there to be quarterbacks are not the guy. He went out of his way to get Mac Jones. We said on the air he was not the guy.
Hmm.
So I think that's why he's struggling. Bill Belichick, the GM, is a failure. Is horrible, dog.
You
They
don't
had to
think
have cornerbacks playing wide receivers playing cornerback when they were winning Super Bowls. That means you failed.
no, with the game script in hand though, and it had the
Yeah,
extra information. Like, hey, yeah, but you see this? Just sprint back to the to the hash. The
right.
ball coming
Turn
right.
around. The ball gonna hit you in the head if you don't turn around fast enough. And so I just think like everybody got so hyped when they made the trades. Oh, this is the future. This is what grown up
Mhm,
organizations do. This sounds like something Dan would have done year one or year two. And if Dan would
mhm.
have been, if these rumors would have come out while Dan was the owner, everybody would have thrown a tantrum and act like it was the worst thing they ever heard. But because it's the new guy, all of a sudden it's no issue.
Oh,
It's
this
just
is bad.
asinine, dog. Bama's picking favorites. You should be looking for a guy that can coach your team for 10 to 15 years. A guy to come in young like Tom and you know what I mean, to grow with
Yeah.
the team, develop the team. But they don't even know how to look for that. They don't even know how to identify that. So they're just gonna go with somebody else's
The
proven
Raiders might have fell backwards into their head coach by Antonio Pierce,
Antonio Pierce.
but he sound like he ready to do it. I'm ready to rock with the Raiders, dog. That's how I organize it. Listen, if it's not working, cut ties.
Cut
Ain't
ties. Figure
just
it. Find something else.
middle of the season. These Bama's ain't waste no more weeks. They say, yeah, we done with the experiment. He don't know. Locker room messed up. Let's go with the guy that people support and we can get behind and at least try to salvage this season right now. Like that's what you got to do. And I think you'll see the team respond because of it.
And this also, if they would have waited till the end of the year to fire what's that garbage boy name? Dan
McDaniels.
McDaniels. Antonio Pierce doesn't get that job. I don't care what anybody says. When you fire the Bama now and then give him a chance to be interim, not only do you get to give him a real chance to say, hey, he got something, I'm gonna bring him back. But I know Mark Davis likes flash and he probably won't do that. But other teams see what's going on and he get a chance to be a head coach somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you gotta kind of shake things up. The known thing is not working. I don't care if you take a guy who never called plays in his life, try something different and you might find something.
Mm-hmm.
But this
Uh,
organization is just
it's just moving backwards, dog. Got our feet in cement. Just can't get out of it, dog.
the love affair with
Oh,
dinosaurs over here. I don't know what it is, but
dog, they want pterodactyls and T Rexes, dog. That's just it's how they get down, dog. I can't rock with it. Now on to the other question. This is a big question. Is Sam Howell the quarterback of the future for the Washington Commanders?
that question for me or you about to answer it?
Now, I'm answering you. We are QB analyst number one. We don't miss. Is he the quarterback of the future? I know you looked at the game tape. I know you saw this past week. The offense looked 10 times better. The week before that, it looked terrible. I know we generally we're in between terrible and good, but if you're if it's the future of the franchise, did you give it to Sam Howell to let him progress and continue to grow? Or do
I don't
you
think you
scrap
give
back?
him anything. I don't think his ceiling is high enough to give him anything. I think
Mm-hmm,
he's played enough games to be able to. If he was a no-brainer, that guy, you'd have seen it by now.
mm-hmm,
And I know people see flashes of things they like because they so used to pop guns being here. So when you have a guy with an NFL arm, it's like, wow, oh my God. But they scattered all across the league. Y'all just
mm-hmm,
chosen to root for guys who are below par when it comes to athletic ability and
mm-hmm,
ability to throw the ball. So he has skills, so I'm not suggesting that. But the issues he has are issues that I don't see people fix. Being a slow processor, looking at the pass rush, that's not something I've ever seen somebody do in the beginning and then completely get out of it. And not just the beginning. He did this all through college. And that's the part people
mm-hmm,
want to leave out. Like all of these issues that he's having now, you can blame the enemy, you can blame the
mm-hmm,
O line and Ron Rivera, all that. He was doing this stuff in Carolina.
mm-hmm,
He would have been a first round pick if he would have came out the year before. But he stayed a year, and when all of those weapons left, it wasn't like, playing with the bum squad.
yeah.
He had to run
Bama's
around a
butt,
bunch. He
Bama's butt
scrambled.
naked, wide open. You just
Right.
throwing
He
it
ended up
up.
in the
Bama's
fifth round.
Moss in it. Yeah.
Right. So he was a fifth round for a reason. And I think
Mm-hmm,
the things that I've seen, he doesn't keep his eyes downfield. He has to see something come open. He has no anticipation with his throws. Like all of those things that because of the way he looks, I feel like people don't see it that way.
mm-hmm,
When they would made the same comments when it was other quarterbacks that have even been here not that long ago with Haskins.
mm-hmm,
Get rid of the ball. It wasn't a conversation about the O line. Or it wasn't a conversation about, oh, Scott Turner needs to put screen this play is it's either you can run the offense or you can't with certain players. But with Sam, everybody wants to seem to bend the world to make this work because they're so desperate for him to be the guy. That
mm-hmm,
being said, he's only played eight, nine
mm-hmm.
games.
If
I
that,
think he
mm-hmm,
can improve from where he is.
mm-hmm.
I think I'm not saying he's going to end up being.
Who's your NFL comparison quarterback you say the ceiling is for Sam Howell? If you kept him, let's say he develops into the full like full scope of who you see him to be, who would that quarterback be?
I don't think there's a comp because to me he's a backup. Like in
Okay.
Washington, he's a starter, but if you're talking about teams playing for even perennial playoff teams. He's not starting on those teams with his
Mhm.
issues that he has because everything has to be perfect. You got this super wide receiver squad. You know, the O line has to block. The coach has to call this play and this play and this play. Whereas you got these other guys, the
They
guys
can kind of
product.
make up for some of the deficiencies that are there.
Right, right. Or
Mhm.
they call it what? Force multipliers. They make other guys better. Sam is
Mhm.
not one of those people. And I see him trying to grow from a leadership perspective. His demeanor sometimes is a little strange because he seems a little and quiet, and you can't really tell if he's dejected or if he's just, like
Mhm.
Marvin Harrison, like just
Mhm.
sociopath type. It's hard to tell sometimes.
Uh-huh.
He's not a natural leader in that regard.
Mhm.
Um, Bama's young, like he can definitely be better than this, but I think based on Washington being so desperate for a quarterback, he'll end up
The
getting
pressure
every
on him.
opportunity to be the
Mhm.
guy unless a coach comes in that has a guy that he wants to pencil in. That's
Mhm.
the only way that I think this goes a completely different way. Because you got to think about it. This is his second offense in his second year. If
Mhm.
somebody else comes in, the enemy's probably not going to be the OC, so he's going to have to learn a completely different offense. And I just don't think that garners you anything with
Mm-mm.
his limitations for processing slow anyway
Yeah,
and all of
yeah.
that. You know what I mean? I think he could be an A plus. Like he's probably the best backup in the league,
Mhm.
but I don't think
Okay.
he's a starter on a playoff team
Mm.
right
Yeah.
now.
If the Washington Commanders lose this weekend to the New England Patriots, does the Washington Commanders and Josh Harris group follow suit in cutting ties with Ron Rivera, just like the Raiders have done? Because the Raiders have kind of set a precedent that I think now makes it more acceptable for the Commanders to part ways with Ron Rivera well before the end of the season. The way it's going, the way it's looking right now. Do you
No, because
think that it happens?
Josh Harris is pussy. He's not going to do anything because he doesn't have to do anything. I know something happened. Magic ready to let it go, but Josh Harris wants to be a chicken and just wait and be patient. He think this the 76ers. He think people going to wait 4 or 5 years for him to bring in, you know what I mean? His favorite dinosaur. No,
Yeah, this trust the process not gonna work here in Washington. I can just tell you that right now. That whole trust the process, he's already lost the equity that he's had coming in here, and people are just so starved for something to be different and change, and it looks more of the same, and that just erodes. Dog, it's like water on a wet paper towel, dog. It just that joke
and
goes away.
what pisses me off even more than all of this is this Gump hasn't even fired a GM, bring in a new GM, then let the rumors come out about what coach. Because that tells me the football guy, the coach is choosing. I mean, the GM is choosing the coach. When you
Mhm.
floated out as the owner and you haven't fired anybody because you chicken, so you mean who is Herney? What's the dude name? The GM they got over there?
Mayhew.
May is he going to be hiring the coach? So how did you get to Belichick without a GM in here to make that decision? This is the stuff I'm talking about. Which means are you bringing in Belichick to be the GM and head coach so he can make terrible draft picks here?
And if you look at the Florio like comment, I actually have it here. Let me see how
That
short
would be
share.
juicy, to say the least, Mike Florio.
Yes, it would. Here's what I think is going to happen. And, I'm hearing chatter to this effect, not that it's reporting, but when you're plugged into the NFL grapevine and you hear something like this, it's too good to keep to yourself. There's a theory out there that when the season ends, Josh Harris, the new owner, of the Commanders, is going to call the Patriots and inquire about what it would take to get Bill Belichick. So the Patriots wouldn't fire him. The Patriots would essentially trade him to Washington and avoid any further financial obligation, get something back. Remember, they had to give up some stuff to get him when he was the Jets head coach for like a day in 2000. And so there's a thought out there that that's how this is going to go. Everybody goes in Washington. Josh Harris makes a play for Bill Belichick, and Bob Kraft does not say no to it because he, in theory, is ready to move on as well.
That would be
The way all these goofies was drooling over that third and second round pick they got for Chase and Sweat. If these Bama's give up a 1 or a 2 to get 70-something-year-old Bill Belichick, though, if Dan did this, it would be an uproar, dog. Bama's will be storming the Capitol again if Dan did this. What's different?
Dog, same doo-doo, different toilet, dog.
At least Dan had nuts to fire Bama once he knew he was done. That's the first thing he did when he nah, this ain't working. Get out of here.
Dog, this would be disgusting. And John, like, that's what I'm saying. These Bama's want to get Ted gonna get this Bama Ted just keep getting looked out for, dog, because these Bama's keep coming in worse than and they keep messing up the front. So then he could just crawl back in his little corner and mess up the Wizards and then nobody say nothing.
Yeah, he like, oh, we good. Nobody watching. Them Bama's terrible.
Terrible, dog. If you're a Washington Commanders fan, what do you think? Go ahead and put in the comments what you think, how you think a Bill Belichick move. You want the dinosaur? Tell me if you want a dinosaur in here. Tell me if you think the Patriot way. Because one of the things he said, Mike Florio, he didn't say it in that clip, but in another clip I had, he said that he hopefully looking forward to bringing Bill Belichick in the Patriot way down here. I'm trying to figure out what the way that is, though. Losing?
Terrible draft.
Cheating. I'm trying to figure it out, though, because I just don't know what the Patriot way would look like in Washington. Like,
I don't want Josh McDaniels down here. I don't want Bill O'Brien down here. None of the flunkies.
I don't want none of them Bama's here, dog. The culture in New England to Randy was a player there. It's players who played there. Ocho Cinco was a player there. They just saying that it's just not, the culture is just Bill Belichick's way or the highway, and that just not necessarily doesn't lend to success. It does not lend to success, especially with these new type of players and stuff. You have to be able to connect with these players. You have to respect them. You have to, like, this whole treating these Bama's like 10-year-old kids. That football NFL is dead, dog. Running these Bama's into the ground, having these Bama's go head up, doing tour days and all that crazy types. Those days is dead. So,
and it only works when you have success. So when you got Brady there and you're winning, you can do whatever you want pretty much, and you're winning. So Bama's they're going to adjust. Mm-hmm. Before Brady got there, they wasn't talking no Patriot way. It was no such thing as a Patriot way.
Oh, yeah, dog. And these Bama's cheated to get there, dog. All of the type stuff. And one day I'm gonna have my nephew on here tell us about when they used to play the Patriots and they would go and all the funny business. Bama said that they would be in a hotel and in the middle of the night, lights would just go out. In the middle, like the lights all in the hotel go out. They wouldn't have no hot water in the hotel the next morning. Bama's got to do cold shop, like all just funny type stuff, dog. Bama's would be like tapping the headset. They be in a game headset and just go out like dog. I don't want that here, bro. I don't want that here. Yeah, man. This bad. Put in the comments what you think.
It better be fake.
I pray it is. Mike Florio talking about he hearing on the grapevines. You don't know what that could mean. That just could be chatter, but people be making stuff up too. Especially when you got a terrible franchise like the Washington Commanders, you could just say anything. Though I heard the Commanders about to holler at this dude named Harold Laws, who he just a regular dude off the street. They gonna bring him. You can just make up stuff, dog, and it's gonna get legs because we so sorry. Like, dog, yeah, I heard the Commanders, dog. I heard that they just about to. Josh Harris about to sell the team again. He ain't got no money. Bama broke. He just gonna make up anything, dog, and it's gonna stick. Cause we sorry, Aaron. Follow us at OSS 988 Other Side of Sports. Subscribe to the channel. Let us know, what you think about Bill Belichick. If you think Sam Howell is the franchise QB from what you've seen, let us know, man. I mean, I'll argue in the comments if need be. We out.